So friends, good morning to all of you and welcome to GYANJYOTI online classes. So dear students, today we will discuss chapter number 6 of class 5th English, that is Children of India. Children of India. So before going to the topic, let's find out some new words. Okay. So here are the new words. Read it with me. Outskirts, flying, abound, bows, defiant, extrovert, hood, disconcerting, demons, and satchels. So, what are the meanings of these words? Outskirt means outlying areas, flying to provide, abound to be abundant, vows means promise, defiant means aggressive, extrovert means outgoing, hood means a loud noisy cry, disconcerting means disturbing, demons, evil spirit, and satchels means bad. Okay. So these are your new words. So let's start our new topic, that is Children of India. Okay. So students, it is a small story written by Ruskin Bond. It is a story written by Ruskin Bond. Okay, so the author of this story is Ruskin Bond, and he is a prolific writer. Okay, he is a brilliant writer who has been awarded by Sahitya Academy Award. Okay. So here in this short story, small story, here the author himself is the narrator. Okay. It means जो ऑथर है वही खुद क्या है, नैरेटर है, जो कि ये स्टोरी को क्या है नैरेट कर रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं. ठीक है ना. सो लेट्स गो टू द स्टोरी. ओके. They passed me every day on their way to school, boys and girls from the surrounding villages and the outskirts of the hill station. There are no school buses flying for these children. They walk. For many of them, it's a very long walk to school. So the first paragraph says that there are a lot of boys and girls who come from hilly areas, remote areas for their better education. So here the narrator, okay, you can see we can say that there is speaker also. Okay, so here the speaker is standing is in Landour, which is the place in Missouri. So the speaker is standing in his balcony, okay, in Landour in Missouri, and watch every day, each and every day, different boys and girls, they were coming from hilly areas, remote areas, passing through his house. Okay, and he saw many children. They went through his homes to the schools, and also he compared this school, compared the private schools with that of the government aided schools also. Okay. So they passed me every day on their way to school, boys and girls from the surrounding villages and outskirts of the hill station. There are no school buses flying for the children. They walk. So he was standing in his balcony, okay, seeing that a lot of boys and girls, they come down from the hill station, from the remote areas, okay, and for going to the school for a better education. And even no buses were provided to such boys and girls, okay, who are coming from the hilly areas, because in remote areas, in hilly areas, we can't see any buses. Okay, and also these students are going to the government school, government aided school. So actually what we see buses in our private schools. Okay, privately owned schools, they usually have school buses, but we don't see school buses for the government aided schools. Okay, so according to the story, this story tells about that boys and girls who are living in remote areas, who belong to small category, lower middle class people, they don't send their child in private school because they can't afford the fees of that school. Okay, so here the author see different boys and girls from his balcony who are going to the school for a better education. So for many of them it's a very long walk to school. So there are some boys and girls who have to walk a long distance to get to the school. Okay, so here is story about some few children, Ranbir, Bindra, okay, so who come from a long distance to the school. Ranbir, who is 10, has to climb the mountain from his village 4 miles distant and 2000 feet below the town level. He comes in all weathers wearing the same pair of cheap shoes until they have almost fallen apart. Ranbir is a cheerful soul. He waves to me whenever he sees me at my window. Sometimes he brings me cucumbers from his father's field. I pay him for the cucumbers. He uses the money for books or for small things needed at home. So here is a small boy, a 10 years little boy, Ranbir, who is being depicted in this story, that he comes from a hilly area. Okay, hilly areas means the area on the top of the hill. Okay, so usually when we go to the north side, okay, so hilly areas like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, we usually see the houses are built on the hilly areas. Okay, so from like that, the Ranbir is a small boy who comes from that hilly areas, okay, to the ground level. Okay, so from the top level he comes to the ground level because the school is present in the lower part of the hill. Okay, so he used to walk miles, kilometers, okay, miles to go to the school. So he comes in all weathers. So Ranbir is a soul, is a cheerful soul. Okay, he is an active boy. Okay, cheerful soul who comes in every weather, whether it may be your spring season, rainy season, winter season. Okay, whether what may be the season, he comes daily on a daily basis to the school wearing his cheap shoes. Why he is wearing cheap shoes? Because he belongs to a lower middle class boy. Okay, he was a lower middle class boy and his parents can't afford him to buy new shoes, clothes, okay, for their schools. So for each and every day he comes to school with the cheap shoes. Okay, and he waves to me whenever he sees me at my window. And at the time of going to school, each and every day he waves the speaker or narrator. Okay, because the school boys, they pass through narrator's house, and in each and every day the narrator used to stand in the balcony, in the window, see from the window of his house to these small boys and girls who used to wave to him while going to the school and after coming back to the school. And Ranbir had a field. Ranbir had a field which they grew different vegetables in that field. And in summer vacations or sometimes he brings cucumbers to the narrator. Okay, sometimes what happens, often Ranbir brings cucumbers. Cucumbers मतलब क्या, खीरा, ठीक है ना? Ranbir brings cucumbers to the narrator, and in return of it, the narrator gives him some money, and he means Ranbir uses that money for buying his books or other materials for his homes. Okay. So many of the children are like Ranbir, poor but slightly better off than what their parents were at the same age. They cannot attend the expensive residential and private schools that abound here, but must go to the government-aided schools with only basic facilities. Not many of their parents manage to go to school. They spend their lives working in fields or delivering milk in hill station. The lucky ones got into the army. Perhaps Ranbir will do something different when he grows up. So as like Ranbir, there are a lot of students, okay, lot of students present there in the hilly areas, though they were poor but they are slightly better off than what their parents were there in their age. Okay, so they were as smart as their parents were not in their age. Okay, and they cannot attend the expensive residential and private schools that abound here. Though private and residential schools were abundant in that areas, but they can't afford their child to send into that private schools. Okay, because the private schools fees are almost nearly more as compared to their income. Okay, so that is the reason that they can't afford their child to send into that school. So in lieu of it, they send their child to the government aided school with some basic facilities. Okay, so we see a lot of facilities in our private residential schools, but there are only few facilities are given to the government aided schools. Okay, so not many of their parents manage to go to school. They spend their lives working in fields or delivering milk in the hill station. So most of the parents are working in their field and they spend their whole life working in that field, and some of the parents are there who used to sell milk to the milk in the hill station, deliver milk in the hill station, and there are some lucky ones who send their child into the private schools. So he is yet to see a train, but he sees planes flying over the mountains almost every day. How far can a plane go? He asks. All over the world, I tell him, thousands of miles in a day you can go almost anywhere. So each and every day Ranveer saw a lot of planes, but he hasn't seen yet the trains. Okay, because the train were not passing through his house, but he used to see a lot of planes, helicopters that were flying over his house. So each and every day he saw a lot of planes over his house. And each and every day he asks the narrator that how far these planes fly, and all over the world the narrator tell him, okay, it can fly all over the world, and by the help of plane we can tour through the whole world, okay, within a short period of time. So thousands of miles in a day you can go almost anywhere. I will go around the world one day, he vows. I will buy a plane and go everywhere. So he had a strong determination that he will go around the world in that plane, and he makes a promise to the narrator that one day he will buy a plane and go around the world. So, and maybe he has a determined chill and a defiant look in his eye. Up to few years ago, very few girls in the hills or in the villages of India went to school. They helped in the home until they were old enough to be married, which wasn't very old. But there are now just as many girls as there are boys going to school. So up to few years ago, there were some girls, they were going to school. Okay, and most of the girls are busy working in the household work. They were not allowed to send to the school by their parents. Okay, because they thought that the girls are born only to work the house, only to engage in the household activities. Because after marriage they have to do all sorts of things in their family. So that is why they don't even send their girl child to school, and instead of it they make her busy in the household work. Okay, this was the case of few years ago, but today most of the girls, the boys and girls are equal in numbers. As like the boys going to school, the girls are even going to the school in the same way. So there is a second character named Bindra, okay, who is in this story. So Bindra is sometimes something of an extrovert, a confident 14-year-old who chatters away as she hurries down the road with her companions. Her father is a forest guard and knows me quite well. I met her on my walks through the deodar woods behind London. Okay. So Bindra is some kind of girl that is extrovert. That is when he is friendly to each and everyone. Okay, it makes friend easily. Is a outstanding girl. Okay, and he was very active. He talks with his companions, his friends very actively. Okay, even the other people still talks very actively. Okay, so he was a confident 14 years old girl, and she has down the road with her companions, and she along with other boys, with the 3 boys, she goes to the school with them. Okay, and I met her on my walks through the deodar woods behind London. So as Bindra's father is a forest guard, so the narrator knew her very well. Okay, so the narrator knew Bindra very well as Bindra's father as a forest guard. Okay, and I had grown used to seeing Bindra almost every day. When she did not put in an appearance for a week, I asked her brother if anything was wrong. Oh, nothing. He says, she is helping my mother cut grass. Soon the monsoon will end and the grass will dry up. So we cut it now and store it for the cows in winter. And why aren't you cutting grass too? So each and every day the narrator saw these boys and girls going to the schools. But sometimes, some days when the narrator didn't see Bindra, he used to ask her brother that why Bindra didn't come to school. Okay, so in that time, her brother, a little brother, used to say him that she is busy in household work. She is helping her mother in cutting grasses. So in the same time, the narrator asks the little boy, okay, so why don't you help your family as she is helping to your mother in cutting grasses? So he says that, oh, I have a cricket match today, he says, and hurries away to join his teammates. Unlike his sister, he puts pleasure before work. Okay, so when the narrator asks him that why don't you help your family in the fields, so he used to say that I have a cricket match and I have to go there and I have to play with my friends. So here it shows that he gives more importance in pleasures than the work, while Bindra gives importance to the work before playing. Okay, so here is contrast between the boy and a girl. That girl is a child who always help his family in each and every time. Okay, but the boys, what they do, they play more. Okay, what we can say that they give more importance to the play before the work. So as winter approaches and the days grow shorter, those children who live far away must quicken their pace in order to get home before dark. Ranveer and his friends find that darkness has fallen before they are halfway home. What is the time, uncle? He asks as he trudges up the steep road past a big cottage. It's dark at 6, and by then Ranveer likes to be out of the deodar forest and on the open road to the village. The moon and the stars and the village lights are sufficient, but not in the forest, where it is dark evening during the day, and the silent flying of bats and flying foxes and the eerie hoots of hen all can be a little disconcerting for the hardiest of the student. So as the winter approaches, as the winter is about to come approaches, what happens in winter seasons, the days become shorter and the night becomes longer. Okay, so as Ranveer and his friends, they had to come to the ground from the hilly areas. Okay, from the top of the hill they have to come to the lower flat surface of the ground so as to go to the school. So as the winter approaches, and in winter season the days are longer in days are shorter and the nights are longer. Okay, so they had to come to the school as soon as they can. Okay, and in doing so, what happens in winter season, at the time of coming, the sun sets and it is about the evening time. Okay, and they had to cross the forest, and they had to cross the forest to go to their houses. Okay, so in doing so, what happens, during passing through the forest, they emit sounds like singing songs. Okay, some of his friends, they they sing a flute. Okay, they sing flute. So that they thought that by singing this kind of music, flute, the evil spirits to the present in the forest, they come to them. And also there are lots of birds are there like owls. Okay, so the hooting of the owls completely disconcerted them. It was a disturbing that disturbs completely to the boys, those who are going through the those who are passing through the forest. Okay. India, children are constantly making their way to and from school in conditions that range from dust storms in the Rajasthan deserts to blizzards in Ladakh and Kashmir. In the larger towns and cities, there are school buses, but in remote rural areas, getting to school can pose a problem. So it is not in the case of hilly areas. It is also the case of some remote areas also. Remote areas also, where we can't see buses or vans who usually come to pick the boys and girls. Okay, so it is not in the case of hilly areas, but some rural areas are also there, like in the deserts of Rajasthan, where no cars, no van will go. So in that condition, the children, they used to go through the desert area, and as you know that in desert area there are storms coming each and every minute. Okay, so they have to cross that desert area and go to the home. So it is a big problem for such kind of boys and girls. Okay, and not in the case of Rajasthan, but also blizzard, Ladakh and Kashmir also. So most children are more than equal to any obstacles that may arise, like those youngsters in Ganjam district of Odisha, in the absence of a bridge, they swim or wade across the Dhanai river every day in order to reach their school. I have a picture of them in my scrapbook, holding books or satchels aloft in one hand. They do the breaststrokes or dog paddle with the other, or from a chain and help each other across. So this was the case of your Rajasthan and Ladakh. But here a new case was seen by the narrator. That was the case of Ganjam districts in Odisha, where the youngsters, where the young boys and girls, they used to make chain to cross the river, because as there was no river to sail over, to pass over the river. Okay, so what the boys of the district did, they used to they used to hold their bags on their heads, okay, like this, and they swim to the river in order to go to the other side of the river and go to their schools. Okay, so this was the case of Ganjam district of Odisha, and few students and most of the students, they make chain. Okay, so what they did, they put their bags. Okay, the bags that were full of books and copies, they put their bags on their heads, and by holding one's hand, they used to go from one side of the river to the other side, and some of them also swim. Okay, most of the children also swim through that river and pass that river and go to the school. So this was the case of Ganjam district in Odisha. So wherever you go in India, you will find children helping out with the family's source of livelihood, whether it be drying fish on the Malabar coast, or gathering saffron birds in Kashmir, or grazing camels or cattle in a village in Rajasthan or Gujarat. So it is not in the case of the desert area, Ladakh area, okay, or Ganjam districts, but there are most of the boys and girls are there, children are there, those who are helping their families family's source of livelihood. Okay, that means the case of Malabar coast where children they used to help their parents in drying fish. Okay, and also in the case of Jammu and Kashmir where most of the children they help their parents in gathering saffron buds. Okay, saffron buds. What do you mean by saffron buds? केसर, केसर देखिए हो ना, ठीक है। तो केसर कहाँ मिलता है? कश्मीर में ही क्या है मिलता है। तो ऐसे बहुत सारे चिल्ड्रन हैं जो कि क्या है कश्मीर में वो अपने पेरेंट्स को हेल्प करते हैं वो सैफरन को क्या है इकट्ठे करने में। ओके, so only the more fortunate can afford to send their children to English medium private public schools, and those children are really fortunate. For some of these institutions are excellent schools as good and often better than their counterparts in Britain or USA. So very few of the children are there who are very fortunate that they deserve the best quality schools because their parents are high standards and they can afford high fees to the school and they can send their children to the school. Okay, so they are the most fortunate children. One can say that their parents can afford them to send to the private schools. Okay, so whether it's in Ajmer or Bangalore, New Delhi or Chandigarh, Kanpur or Kolkata, the best schools set very high standard. The growth of a prosperous middle class has led to an ever-increasing demand for quality education. But as private schools proliferate, standards suffer too, and many parents must settle for the second rate. The greater majority of our children still attend schools run by the state or municipality. These vary from the good to the bad to the ugly depending on how they are run and where they are situated. So it is the case in your Ajmer or Bangalore, New Delhi or Chandigarh, Kanpur or Kolkata. So these are the best cities in our countries who had a high standard schools. Okay, so there are some children, those who are fortunate. Okay, one can say they are the most fortunate children of their parents that they are sent to such kind of schools present in the Ajmer, Bangalore, New Delhi. Okay, because they are the best schools which sets very high standards. Okay. And the growth of a prosperous middle class has led to an ever-increasing demand for quality education. But as private schools proliferate, standards suffer too, and many parents must settle for the second rate. Okay, so it is the case that in these cities we can't see only one or two high standard schools. Okay, we see a lot of schools. So the parents had the second chance, second rate that they could send their child to some other schools if they were not, one can say that interested in that school. Okay. So the great majority of our children still attend schools run by the state or municipality because here in our India, so most of the places are there where we can see the people belongs to lower middle class one. Okay, and they don't then they don't send their children to their private schools because they can't afford it. Okay, because they can't afford it. So that is why they used to send their children to the municipality school, government aided schools, which has some basic facilities, not more than that of your private institutions. Okay. So this vary from the good to bad to the ugly. So there are some government aided schools which are also good and which are also ugly. That there are some schools in our India, municipality schools, government aided schools, where the education facilities given more prior. Okay, and there are some schools where the children didn't get that basic facilities which other schools give them. Okay. A classroom without windows or with a roof that lets in the monsoon rain is not uncommon. Even so, children from different communities learn to live and grow together. hardship makes brothers of us all. So we see a lot of schools in our India, the government aided schools, okay, municipalities where we can't see the good quality roofs, and in rainy seasons what often it happens that in rainy seasons the waters get leaked from that roofs. Okay, the condition of the school is not as good as as to the other schools. It is the case in some few schools of our India, especially the government aided schools. Okay, so the census tells us that 2 in every 5 of the population is in the age group of 5 to 15. Almost half of our population is on the way to school. So the census tells us that an official count during survey. Okay, census means an official count. Okay, survey. So the survey tells us that about half of the percent of our population are on the way to schools, because this belongs to all the children from the age group 5 to 15 years, because the half of the population of our countries, they are from 5 to 15 years, and these are all the students, the children, okay, and they are going to school. Okay, and here I stand at my window watching some of them pass by, boys and girls, big and small, some scruffy, some smart, some mischievous, some serious, but all going somewhere, hopefully towards a better future. So here the narrator standing in front of his window, he saw a lot of boys and girls, a lot of children, those who are passing through his house. So some are scruffy, some are noisy, some are mischievous, okay, some are smart, some are intelligent. So he used to see a lot of children who are passing through his house. Okay, so he thought that some are going to school and some are busy in other activities. Okay, so he thought that they are going here and there for their bright future. So this is the topic we have discussed. Okay, so once again I have to tell you in Hindi so that you can get it properly. Okay, तो देखो चैप्टर नंबर 6 के चिल्ड्रन ऑफ इंडिया, तो इसको लिखा किसने है? रस्किन बॉन्ड ने, ठीक है ना। तो यहाँ पर रस्किन बॉन्ड क्या है, दो कैरेक्टर का नाम लेते हैं, एक रणबीर रहता है और एक क्या है, बिंद्रा रहती है, ठीक है ना। और उसकी क्या है, रणबीर के कुछ दोस्त रहते हैं और बिंद्रा की क्या है, उसकी एक छोटा सा क्या है, भाई भी रहता है, ठीक है ना। वो कैरेक्टर उतना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे क्या है, जो नरेटर हैं वो क्या है, अपने घर के खिड़की से क्या है, रोज सुबह शाम क्या है देखते रहते हैं कि कोई कुछ ना कुछ क्या बच्चे आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं उस घर से क्या है पास करें, कोई स्कूल जा रहा है तो कोई और क्या है दूसरी एक्टिविटीज के लिए क्या है जा रहा है। तो वहाँ पे वो देखते भी हैं कि कई बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जो कि हिली एरियाज, रिमोट एरिया से क्या है आते हैं। अब जो हिली एरियाज वो हैं जो कि क्या है पहाड़ी इलाके, ठीक है ना। तो पहाड़ी इलाके वाले जितने भी बच्चे होते हैं वो पहाड़ी इलाके में कोई स्कूल तो होगा नहीं, तो ऑब्वियसली क्या उनको क्या है नीचे आना पड़ेगा स्कूल के लिए, क्योंकि जो स्कूल है वो नीचे ही बना रहता है, ठीक है ना। तो जो हिली एरियाज में जितने भी बच्चे रहते हैं वो क्या है नीचे आते हैं पढ़ाई करने के लिए। तो ये सब चीज क्या वो नरेटर स्पीकर है वो क्या है देखते रहते हैं, ठीक है ना। उतने में वो एक कैरेक्टर को देखते कौन है, वो है रणबीर, ठीक है ना। तो रणबीर एक ऐसा कैरेक्टर है, ऐसा लड़का है जो कि क्या है बहुत ही थोड़ा शार्प माइंडेड है, ठीक है ना, थोड़ा चुलबुला सा है, ठीक है। तो वो क्या है कई बार क्या है ऑथर से मिलता है, ठीक है ना। और उसके घर में क्या है एक फील्ड है, ठीक है ना, जो जहाँ पे वेजिटेबल्स वगैरह क्या है लगाए जाते हैं। तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जो रणबीर रहता है वो क्या है नरेटर के लिए कुकुम्बर्स ककड़ी क्या है ला देता है, और बजाय में क्या है जो नरेटर रहते हैं उसको पैसा देते हैं। अब वो पैसा को लेकर वो क्या करता है अपने बुक्स कॉपीज खरीदता है, ठीक है ना, और कुछ पैसा बच जाता है तो घर के लिए क्या कुछ सामान ले जाता है। तो इस तरह से क्या है वो अपना जो खर्च है वो निकाल लेता है, ठीक है ना। तो ये तो बात है वो बच्चे की जिसने की क्या है खीरा बेचा, बेचने के बाद क्या है कुछ पैसे इकट्ठे किए और अपने बुक्स के लिए और अपने परिवार के लिए। तो उसी एज में उनके जो पेरेंट्स थे वो इतना नहीं सोच पाए होंगे, ठीक है ना, उतना सोच किया उनके पेरेंट्स में उस समय उस एज में नहीं आया होगा जितना कि ये बच्चे में आ गया था। अब देखो जो रणबीर रहता है वो क्या हिली एरियाज में रहता है, तो ऑब्वियसली क्या है वो ना बहुत सारे क्या है प्लेन्स उसके घर के ऊपर से क्या है देखता है। और बहुत ही कम क्या वो ट्रेन में सफर किया रहता है, मतलब देखे रहता है, बहुत कम, नियरली नो ट्रेन क्या वो देखे रहता है, क्योंकि हिली एरियाज में बहुत कम क्या ट्रेन देखने को मिलते हैं, ठीक है ना। हिली एरियाज में तो टोटल ही नहीं मिलती, कौन सा ट्रेन ऊपर जाएगा, ठीक है ना, वो सब फ्लैट एरियाज में चलते हैं। तो रणवीर क्या अपने घर के ऊपर से क्या बहुत सारे प्लेन्स को उड़ता हुआ दिखता है और नैरेटर से कहता है कि कितने ऊपर तक जा रहे होंगे। तो नैरेटर कहते हैं बहुत थाउजेंड्स ऑफ माइल्स, 1000 किलोमीटर तक क्या वो उड़ते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो वो क्या है अपने साथ ना एक स्ट्रॉन्ग डिटर्मिनेशन लेके आता है कि मैं भी एक दिन ऐसा करूंगा, मैं भी एक दिन क्या है एक प्लेन खरीदूंगा और दुनिया भर का क्या है राउंड मारूंगा, क्या कर क्या है वो प्रॉमिस करता है किसको, नैरेटर को, ठीक है ना। तो ये तो हो गया रणवीर की बात। तो कुछ साल पहले ये भी हुआ करता था। अब सेकंड कैरेक्टर जो आ गया वो कौन है, बिंद्रा है, ठीक है ना। अब वो कौन सी कैरेक्टर है, बिंद्रा एक लड़की है, ठीक है ना। तो देखो कुछ साल पहले हमारे इंडिया में क्या होता था कि जो गर्ल चाइल्ड होते थे, ठीक है ना, लड़कियों को क्या स्कूल भेजा नहीं जाता था, क्योंकि उनके पेरेंट्स समझते थे कि जो लड़की होते हैं वो क्या घर के कामकाज को ही करते हैं, स्कूल जाना क्या उनके अधिकार में नहीं है, ठीक है ना। तो कुछ पेरेंट्स ऐसे क्या है सोचा करते थे और अपने बच्चों को क्या है स्कूल नहीं भेजते थे, स्पेशली टू द गर्ल चाइल्ड। लेकिन आजकल देखो जितने बॉयज हैं उतने गर्ल्स भी हैं, ठीक है ना, जितने बॉयज स्कूल जा रहे हैं उतने क्या है गर्ल्स भी क्या है स्कूल जा रहे हैं। तो आजकल क्या है बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स आर इक्वल। अपने जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उनमें मतलब बोला गया है कि ऑल बॉयज आर इक्वल एंड ऑल बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स आर इक्वल फॉर लॉ। तो हर गर्ल चाइल्ड हो या बॉय चाइल्ड हो, सब क्या है सबको समान अधिकार क्या है मिलना चाहिए। और आजकल से हो भी रहा है क्योंकि गर्ल चाइल्ड और बॉय चाइल्ड क्या दोनों साथ मिलकर क्या है स्कूल जाते हैं। तो बिंद्रा भी एक कैरेक्टर ऐसी लड़की है जो बहुत ही क्या है इंटेलिजेंट है, साफ माइंडेड है, ठीक है ना। तो बहुत ही क्या वो बहुत ही जल्दी अपने दोस्त क्या है बना लेती है, दूसरों के साथ क्या घुल मिल जाती है, ठीक है ना। तो वो भी क्या है जो नैरेटर रहते हैं उसको पहले से ही क्या है जानते रहते हैं। ऐसे क्यों जानते हैं, क्योंकि देखो जो बिंद्रा है उसके पापा एक फॉरेस्ट गार्ड है, तो ऑब्वियसली जो नैरेटर हैं वो उनको पहले से जानते थे, ठीक है ना। तो कई दफा ऐसा भी होता है कि बिंद्रा किसी काम की वजह से क्या है स्कूल नहीं जा पाती। अब देखो नैरेटर तो खिड़की के बाहर क्या देखते रहते कौन आ रहा है कौन जा रहा है। तो कई बार बिंद्रा जब स्कूल नहीं जाती है तो जो नैरेटर रहते हैं वो उसके छोटे भाई से पूछते हैं कि आज बिंद्रा स्कूल क्यों नहीं आई, ठीक है ना। तो उसका जो छोटा भाई रहता है वो जवाब देता है कि वो क्या है माँ को हेल्प कर रही है अपने घर के काम में, ठीक है ना, घास काटने में क्या है काम कर रही है, ठीक है। तो उसी वक्त क्या है जो कैरेक्टर रहते हैं वो पूछते हैं कि अच्छा चलो ठीक है वो तो काम कर रही है, तुम क्यों हेल्प नहीं करते अपने पेरेंट्स को। तो वो लड़का कहता है नहीं अभी मेरा क्या खेलने का टाइम है, मैं अपने दोस्तों के साथ क्या खेलने जा रहा हूँ। तो यहाँ पे क्या है डिफरेंस कॉन्ट्रास्ट दिखाई देता है कि जो बिंद्रा रहती है वो अपने पेरेंट्स को क्या है हेल्प करती है, ठीक है ना। वो अपने जो खेल कूद है उस पर क्या ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देती और उसके पहले क्या है घर के काम में ध्यान देती है। लेकिन यहाँ पे उसका जो छोटा भाई है वो क्या है खेल को क्या ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देता है बिसाइड योर वर्क, ठीक है ना। तो एक क्या है कॉन्ट्रास्ट दिखाई देता है। अब तो ये हो गया तुम्हारा क्या है बिंद्रा और उसके छोटे भाई की बात। अब आओ क्या है रणवीर। तो रणवीर क्या वो हिली एरिया से आता है। अब हिली एरिया में जाने के लिए क्या बीच में फॉरेस्ट भी पड़ता है, तो फॉरेस्ट से गुजर करके उसको अपना घर जाना होता है। तो विंटर सीजन में ऐसा क्या होता है, देखो विंटर सीजन में क्या है जो डेज होते हैं वो शॉर्ट हो जाते हैं और नाइट जो होता है वो लॉन्गर होता है, ठीक है ना। तो कई दफा ऐसा होता है कि अपना जो स्कूल होता है स्कूल का टाइमिंग क्या होता है, जो गवर्नमेंट एडेड स्कूल्स होते हैं उनका टाइमिंग क्या है 9 से 4:30 हो जाता है, ठीक है ना। तो जो रणवीर रहता है वो हिली एरिया से आता है, बहुत दूर से क्या है चल कर पैदा आता है क्योंकि वहाँ पे स्कूल बसेस का फैसिलिटी है ही नहीं, ठीक है ना। तो वहाँ का तो छोड़ो, अपने जो जितने भी गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स वगैरह है वहाँ पे बस फैसिलिटीज किसी को दिया नहीं गया। जितने बच्चे होते हैं वो म्यूनसिपैलिटीज में या फिर गवर्नमेंट एडेड स्कूल में क्या है पैदल ही चल कर क्या है या साइकिल, अभी तो साइकिल क्या प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, पहले ऐसे नहीं होता। तो सब क्या है चल कर स्कूल जाते हैं। तो रणवीर को क्या फॉरेस्ट से होकर अपना घर गुजरना पड़ता था। तो स्कूल से आते वक्त घर जाते वक्त क्या कई बार शाम हो जाता था, ठीक है ना, और उसको क्या वो फॉरेस्ट से गुजरना पड़ेगा। तो जब वो गुजरते रहते तो रणवीर और उसके दोस्त क्या है उसको कंपनी देते हैं। तो कुछ दोस्त होते हैं जो कि क्या है कुछ दोस्त होते हैं उसको क्या है कि गाना वाना में क्या है हेल्प करते हैं, ठीक है ना। कोई क्या है फ्लूट बजाता है तो कोई गाना गाता है, कोई जोर जोर से चिल्लाता है, ठीक है ना। तो ऐसा वो इसलिए करते हैं कि उनको उनका मानना है कि फॉरेस्ट में क्या कुछ डेमंस रहते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो खुद प्रेत पिशाच वगैरह क्या है, कोई चिड़िया वगैरह रहते हैं जिनका आवाज क्या बहुत डिस्टर्बिंग होता है, ठीक है ना। जैसे कि उल्लू का आवाज, ठीक है ना, वो उल्लू का आवाज कितना डिस्टर्बिंग होता है, डरावना होता है। तो वो लोग मानते हैं, हम लोग भी आजकल क्या है मानते हैं कि फॉरेस्ट में क्या है भूत पिशाच वगैरह होते हैं, भूत प्रेत वगैरह क्या होते हैं। तो वो लोग मानते थे कि हम लोग अगर ऐसे करेंगे, गाना वगैरह गाएंगे, एन्चेंटिंग रहेंगे, तो क्या है जो भूत प्रेत वगैरह है उससे हमको और क्या है डर नहीं लगेगा और इजीली क्या हम लोग फॉरेस्ट से पास क्या है हो जाएंगे, ठीक है ना। तो उस तरह क्या है जो विंटर सीजन में वो अपने दोस्त को ऐसे ही क्या है पास करके जाता था, ठीक है ना। तो ये तो था क्या है अपना जितना भी कमेंटेड स्कूल, अपना जो हिली एरियाज में रणवीर रविंद्रा कैरेक्टर के बारे में, ठीक है ना। अब आ जाते हैं अपने जो हिली एरिया, अपने जो स्कूल्स के बारे में, ठीक है ना। स्कूल्स के बारे में जो रिमोट एरियाज के स्कूल्स होते हैं, रिमोट एरियाज में देखो जो कहाँ स्टोरी है वो सिर्फ हिली एरियाज का नहीं है, हमारे रिमोट एरियाज में भी कुछ ऐसे गांव हैं जहाँ की क्या है बच्चे पढ़ते तो हैं लेकिन उनको क्या बहुत डिस्टेंस क्या है जाना पड़ता है, ठीक है ना। ऐसे ही केस है तुम्हारा क्या राजस्थान में। अब राजस्थान में क्या है डिजर्ट एरिया है, राजस्थान तो डिजर्ट एरिया है, रेतीला इलाका है। अब डिजर्ट में कौन सा महान आदमी जाके क्या है वहाँ पे स्कूल बनाएगा, ठीक है ना। तो वहाँ के जो बच्चे होते हैं वो डिजर्ट से पास होकर जाते हैं। तो डिजर्ट में देखो क्या होता है कई बार बहुत सारे स्टॉर्म आते हैं, ठीक है ना, जो साइक्लोन स्टॉर्म वगैरह क्या है आते हैं जिसमें क्या धूल मिट्टी वगैरह उड़ते हैं। तो वो भी उनके लिए क्या है प्रॉब्लम है कि धूल मिट्टी में कैसे उन लोग वो पास करेंगे वो डिजर्ट को, ठीक है ना। और साथ में देखो अपना जो जितने भी सिर्फ राजस्थान का केस नहीं है, लद्दाख में भी, ठीक है ना, जम्मू कश्मीर में वहाँ पे क्या है बहुत ही क्या ठंड पड़ता है, ठीक है ना। तो वहाँ पे भी क्या है जो बच्चे होते हैं उनको क्या प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ता है, ठीक है। ये तो केस हमारा राजस्थान और जम्मू कश्मीर का हो गया। अपना उड़ीसा का ये केस देखो गंजाम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, जिसमें कि जो यंग बच्चे हैं वो क्या है नदी को क्या है पार करते हैं, धरई नदी को, ठीक है ना, स्कूल जाने के लिए, क्योंकि नदी के ऊपर कोई गवर्नमेंट ने कोई ब्रिज वगैरह बनाए ही नहीं है। तो बच्चे कैसे क्या करेंगे और उनको स्कूल भी जाना है फॉर देयर बेटर एजुकेशन, ठीक है ना। तो वो क्या करते थे वो एक चैन बनाते थे, ठीक है ना, अपने जो बस्ता होता था, ठीक है ना, बैग जो होता था बुक्स कॉपीज भरे हुए, उनको ना बस्ते को क्या वो क्या अपने सिर के ऊपर उठाते थे और एक हाथ को क्या है दूसरे से क्या है चेन बनाते थे, पकड़ कर क्या चेन बनाते और पार होते थे। उनमें से कुछ ऐसे बच्चे होते थे जिनको क्या स्विमिंग करना आता था, तो वो तैर कर क्या है पार कर लेते थे, ठीक है ना। तो ऐसे क्या है जो रिमोट एरियाज के बच्चे होते हैं उनको बहुत सारा प्रॉब्लम्स क्या फेस करने को मिलते हैं, ठीक है ना, कंपेयर टू आवर प्राइवेट स्कूल। प्राइवेट स्कूल सिटीज वगैरह में क्या होता है, हम जो बस होते हैं वो अपने घर के नीचे घर के पास आते हैं, ठीक है ना, घर के सामने हमको छोड़कर जाते हैं, तो हमको वो डिफिकल्टी फेस करने को नहीं मिलती, ठीक है ना। और जम्मू कश्मीर में देखो कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जो कि अपने सिर्फ जम्मू कश्मीर नहीं रिमोट एरियाज में भी कुछ बच्चे ऐसा होते हैं जो कि अपने फैमिली को क्या है सपोर्ट करते हैं, ठीक है ना, उनके काम में क्या है हाथ बटाते हैं, उनका काम करते हैं। तो जम्मू कश्मीर में क्या है कुछ बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जो कि क्या है जो सैफरन होते हैं, केसरी होते हैं ना, केसर, उसको क्या इकट्ठा करने में क्या है मदद करते हैं। और मालाबार कोस्टल एरियाज में आ जाओ तो क्या है कोस्टल एरियाज में भी कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जो कि अपने पेरेंट्स को क्या है मछली पकड़ने में क्या है हेल्प करते हैं, वो सुखाने में क्या है हेल्प करते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो ये तो था हमारा क्या है रिमोट एरियाज का कि बच्चे किस तरह से क्या कई प्रॉब्लम्स को क्या फेस करके स्कूल जाते हैं एजुकेशन पाने के लिए। अब आ जाओ हमारे क्या सिटीज और टाउन्स में बहुत सारे सिटीज हैं, अजमेर है, इंदौर है, ठीक है ना, बेंगलोर, ठीक है ना, ये स्टेट्स वगैरह हैं, बहुत सारे सिटीज वगैरह हैं, दिल्ली है, ठीक है ना। तो यहाँ के जो स्कूल्स होते हैं वो सब प्राइवेटली ओन स्कूल होते हैं और उनके स्टैंडर्ड्स बहुत ही क्या हाई होते हैं। बाकी देखना जो बच्चे होते हैं वो क्या उनका फ्लुएंसी बहुत अच्छा होता है इंग्लिश में, ठीक है ना, उनको इंग्लिश मीडियम में इंग्लिश बोलना पढ़ना लिखना सब कुछ अच्छी तरह से क्या है आता है एज कम्पेयर टू आवर रिमोट एरियाज स्टूडेंट, ठीक है ना। तो उनका स्टैंडर्ड ही कुछ अलग होता है। तो देखो कई दफा ऐसा भी होता है कि एक सिटी में मान लो टाउन में एक स्कूल है, ठीक है ना, एक इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल है और वहाँ के जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो एजुकेटेड तो हैं और वो अपने बच्चे को क्या है पढ़ाना चाहते हैं तो भेजते हैं। तो ऐसा कई बार होता है कि वो स्कूल में क्या है जगह नहीं होता या फिर उनका जो स्टैंडर्ड क्या है अच्छा होता है, लेकिन और नए स्कूल जब बन जाते हैं ना तो उनका स्टैंडर्ड क्या है थोड़ा बढ़ाने की कोशिश करते हैं। इसलिए कई दफा ऐसा होता है कि पेरेंट्स क्या है एक स्कूल से दूसरे स्कूल को क्या है भेजते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो ये तो था हम लोग का क्या है कंपेरिजन हमारा जो रिमोट एरियाज और क्या है सिटीज और टाउन का। और एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट में ही देखो रिमोट एरियाज में कैसा एजुकेशन मिलता है और अपने जितने जो अर्बन एरियाज है वहाँ कैसे एजुकेशन फैसिलिटी मिलता है, ठीक है ना। तो आजकल भी क्या है जो गवर्नमेंट एडेड स्कूल है उनकी जो फैसिलिटीज है उनके पास वैसी फैसिलिटीज कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है ना। तो क्या आजकल क्या थोड़ा बढ़ाने की क्या है कोशिश कर रहे हैं ताकि जो चिल्ड्रेन उनको बेटर एजुकेशन मिल सके, ठीक है ना। तो पहले क्या बच्चों को क्या ड्रेस वगैरह नहीं दिया जाता था, आजकल देखो बच्चों को ड्रेस दिया जाता है। गवर्नमेंट एडेड स्कूल में म्यूनिसिपलिटी स्कूल में शूज मिलता है, साइकिल भी मिलता है, उनको बैग भी दिया जाता है, साथ ही क्या उनको बुक्स वगैरह भी फ्री दिया जा रहा है। तो इस तरह से क्या हम लोग उनके स्टैंडर्ड्स को अच्छी तरह से सेट कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो यही था आज का क्या है टॉपिक चिल्ड्रन ऑफ इंडिया। तो जो नरेटर है वो हर दिन क्या ये सब चीज क्या है देखते रहते हैं। तो कुछ बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं, कुछ आते हैं, कुछ बच्चे क्या है दूसरे और जाते हैं अपने पेरेंट्स को हेल्प करते हैं। तो जो नरेटर है वो सोचते हैं कि चलो बच्चे क्या है इधर उधर जा रहे हैं, तो वो सोचते हैं कि शायद क्या वो अपने बेटर फ्यूचर की तरह क्या है जा रहे हैं। ओके, सो दिस इज द स्टोरी, होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड इट। So thank you for our online classes.